historic 750 formula, but that was where his roots were in the 1970s. The race gets underway then, and it's a pretty good start from John Village from the outside of the front row, and he's going to, I think, get past that supercharged Austin 7 of Timothy Roebuck. Yes, he does, as they head up towards Hatchett's for the first time. Also a good start for number 7 there. That's the Graham Wilson car, the time 3B, and down the inside of everybody goes number 2, Nigel Howard. He started on the inside of the second row of the grid. He's also got past the pole position man. He might well be 4th place. In fact, I think he's 4th place by the time they head through Spitfires.
You can have all this power from a supercharged car, but if you can't lay it down on the asphalt in these greasy and fully wet conditions, it's not much use to you. So Timothy Roebuck suddenly finds himself down in 4th position. Great little move there from Westbury's Nigel Howard up the inside in the Centaur Mark 14, and he's nibbling away here at the lead as well, with John Village under pressure as they come out of the centre S's and down towards the Brooklands hairpin.
Yeah, for the first time in this race then. So you've got the 3 historic 750 Formula type cars together from Class C. I think all of these running the Reliant 850cc engine, of course. Turning their way out of Brooklands then towards that right out kink at Carter's Curve. And then there's Honda, the right-hander, which will be at the end of the lap. Anyway, here they go through Honda, and not the quickest cars that we'll see this weekend. Have we seen a change for second there, though, possibly, Johnny, as they came through Honda? Yes, I think we have. Graham Wilson's got through. Yeah,
Wilson up to second position in the time 3B, and now Nigel Howard's under pressure from the car that was in pole position, but he's managed, of course, to gather some of that speed up through Honda and attempt to overtake Nigel Howard, but again, needing to brake much earlier than Nigel's Centaur, so the red car can stay ahead just about. And in 5th position, making good progress, is Trevor Slatter in a second Centaur. That's the Mark 11.
Okay, so grim conditions still for these historic 750 Formula drivers, but they're doing their best to put on a good show for us here on the Alpha live stream. John Village it is leading then, Graham Wilson second, Nigel Howard third, Timothy Roebuck fourth, and then Trevor Slatter in 5th position. And then in 6th place it's the number 42 car of that's the 1 litre Mallock of of Tim Sage. And but watching for the moment that car that was on pole position, leading the supercharged Austin 7 class, leading the non-supercharged Austin 7 class at the moment. You can see they're in 10th place overall, the pale blue square on the timing tower. That's number 22, Charlie Plain Jones. He's ahead there. Going through shot there briefly was number 27. That's Richard Pryor. He was winning races last season, but he's yet to do so this year. Had a 3rd in the first race at Alton Park.
So race leader is to a certain degree scampering away. John Village clearly very much liking these conditions with how many minutes gone? I think we maybe had a minute or 2 taken away from the original 15, and no surprise that John getting a good lap time there as well. It's going to be side by side into Hatchett's at the start of the next lap though, as around the outside Timothy Roebuck attempts an overtake on Nigel Howard, and it's the outside inside trick maybe on the run to Spitfires, that supercharged car with a little bit more power, but again it's about getting it down onto the road surface.
Yeah, John Village 2.43 seconds ahead at the start of this lap. I think he might even be pulling away a little bit further as they work lap 3 of the race now. So getting away from Graham Wilson in 2nd position. We'll get an update on that in a second. There's the 4th place car going through, 2nd and 3rd just ahead of him. Background, you saw a brief shot of that sort of Dayglow highlighter that always reminds me of that. Trevor Slatter in 5th place, number 72. Which is the Centaur Mark 11, just in shot there it is, and then in 6th place that is now Richard Pryor. So Richard Pryor's made up a position on this lap. There's Tim Sage, who he's got ahead of, actually made up quite a few seconds. I think Tim Sage must have made a mistake at some point on this lap to fall behind Richard Pryor.
Yeah, so Sage trying to gain at least one of those positions back again. Nice little gaggle heading through the right-hander at Brooklands now and onto Speedway Straight, containing Lyndon Thruston. So ahead of him is Charlie Plain Jones in the Austin 7 Cowley Special.
Lyndon Stall is just overtaking him there. That's
there you
Gregory
go.
Thruston going through on the inside in number 1. That's the Rawson Special, a long time campaign by Don Rawson, of course. So he's now got through ahead of Son Lyndon, who these days is very much the prime mover behind the historic 750 Formula Series, and has really helped to get increasing numbers of cars on the grid over the years. Looks like Gregory Thruston's making up another place there. So he's going past James Miles in the number 11 car, and so that is up into the top 10 now for Greg and Thruston as they head into the hairpin.
Good momentum being gained towards the end of the lap there through Carter's Curve and into Honda. And a bit of a job there for James Miles to hustle his 7 Special through the first corner.
Roebuck now up to third place. He's got ahead of Nigel Howard there. So Timothy Roebuck in number 18 now goes to third. And they've caught John Village. He was 2.6 seconds ahead at the start of the lap. Where's that all disappeared to?
Well, he was attacking Brooklands from a peculiar angle, so I just wonder whether he overcooked it slightly on the run into the centre S's, maybe a trip to the grass, scampering away again now, but definitely that lead came well and truly down to Graham Wilson in the chasing time 3B, and he's bringing Nigel Howard and Timothy Roebuck with him. But again, now the 850cc, so the Reliant engined Graham Wilson car, stretching its legs away from this battle for third.
Yeah, just looking at the lap times, that's 3 laps completed, isn't it? And Richard Pryor in 6th place has done the best lap of the race now, 124.87. Do we get a change there for second? No, we don't. We don't. So it's Graham Wilson holding on to second place in number 7 from number 18, Timothy Roebuck. We do, of course, need to just keep an eye out to see if there's a checker flag appearing a little bit earlier than we might expect in this race as well. And John Village just started to ease away a little bit again from the next 3, and not helped, I don't think, in their pursuit by falling over one another, Graham Wilson and Timothy Roebuck there.
Yeah, good point you make. Nigel Howard trying to gather that ground back again on Timothy Roebuck in third. Roebuck maybe to the inside. There was a gap there, but couldn't quite make use of it. And now Nigel Howard is all over the back of the supercharged Austin 7 Special. Again, they're condensing to some degree. I wonder whether John Village's car isn't just too happy through the centre S's and Brooklands hairpin, but because once more the gap appeared to come down, at least visually. Second position still in the hands of Graham Wilson, who will be mindful of Timothy Roebuck's progress because it is able to eat up the mileage through Honda and out the other side. The supercharged car much quicker in this final part of the lap and the run towards Hatchets at turn 1.
Absolutely, and he's carried very good speed, and out of Honda has Timothy Roebuck in that number 18 supercharged Austin 7, the back marker that they are going past as well. I think that's the John Ingram car at number 19. Yes, it is, for the 77-year-old from Whitney and the ex-Nigel Arthur, and they all sort of squeeze down the inside, but Richard Pryor seems to be very much coming into the equation here as well in that number 27 car in 5th position, so he's certainly one to watch. We've really got actually the top 6 cars only separated by less than 5 seconds at the end of 5 laps, which is really quite competitive.
Yeah, the JGS 3 in the hands of Richard Pryor has certainly had a fastest lap to this point, and still holds on to it with a 124.87.
He's just there behind Nigel Howard now, so so he's ahead of Travis Slatter, and Slatter's gone with him as well. So really tight here. So not a lot, as I say, covering those first 6 cars. There's Wilson heading out of Brooklands hairpin, with Timothy Roebuck just in behind him in that number 18 car, so for a long way clear of Simon Gallen, who's now second of the supercharged Austin 7s in 8th place overall. Charlie Plain Jones leading the conventionally aspirated Austin 7s in 9th. That's Nigel Howard, number 2 in the Centaur Mark 14, the red car, just going through shot. Well, we're going to get at least one more lap. No sign of the checkered flag. That's good news because it's a good race going on here.
One thing that strikes me is the difference in eye line, because Timothy Roebuck virtually sitting on top of his Austin 7 Special. You look at Richard Pryor, he's so close to the ground, he's virtually lying down in that JGS. And when you get behind other cars, particularly in the spray, it's going to be very difficult to judge whether he's got the space and the gaps to go through. I mean, he'll be well used to that JGS these days. but having to pick his moments carefully. He does have a bit more speed than Nigel Howard, I would say, and Howard now looking for a way up the inside at the crossing of Timothy Roebuck and gets it.
Nicely done. That sort of came out of nowhere, didn't it, really? But good move from Nigel Howard. Richard Pryor thought about following him through as well there, but now heading through the right-hander at Senna. And then it's down to the Brooklands hairpin, that tight right-hander. So Roebuck, who'd been attacking for second for so long in this race, now back down to fourth position. And the question is, can he cling on to that in the closing stage? I think we're going to get at least one more lap at the end of this one. Just looking at the finish line marshal, just to see he's not holding a checkered flag, which he isn't at the moment. So I think we're good for at least one more lap at the end of this, Johnny.
Okay, so through the quick right-hander at Carter's Curve, approaching Honda, which again is fast on the approach, but you need to just balance the car between accelerator and brake, dance it through, really, the right-hander, and there's a fair bit of mud that's been chucked onto the road there through the course of this race and earlier ones in the day. Again, a good exit for the JGS in the hands of Richard Pryor, getting a run maybe on Roebuck, heading for Hatchett's corner, and Roebuck's going to have to give him the space, I think, later on the brakes maybe for the JGS. And yes, over the curve, get a face full of water. That's what I mean about the very low driving position for Richard Pryor.
It's pretty like sitting in a bath right now, isn't it? Because it's probably full of water, that car. Very fast bath, though, which is the main thing. And he's got ahead of Tim Roebuck now, up into fourth position. Slasser lost a lot of time on that lap, didn't he? So he's made a mistake somewhere, I think, in the orange Centaur. So this now the fight for second. Graham Wilson and Nigel Howard, number 7 and number 2, the Time and the Centaur. The checker flag can see is being prepared, so it might be that we get that this time. John Village is 2.3 seconds ahead. Is he going to be the man to bring it home?
Not long to go now, and some, again, shuffling potentially of the order. Nigel Howard's going to be under pressure late in the day from Richard Pryor's JGS. Timothy Roebuck in the battle as well, but Roebuck allows those two cars through, so it's going to be fifth place probably, as the JGS almost got up the inside of Nigel Howard in the very closing stages.
Yeah, the leader is going to come through, and yes, the checker flag is made ready, so it's going to be John Village then that comes home to win in number 29. It's his second victory of the season. Almost a dead heat there a little bit further back. We'll just wait for the screen to update itself. It was certainly second Graham Wilson, but then beyond that, well, there was just a tenth of a second for third place between Richard Pryor, number 27. So he stole it, Johnny, right at the end.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
From number 2, Nigel Howard. Timothy Roebuck, fifth in number 18, winning his class. And Trevor Slasser, sixth place overall as well. Simon Gallen made it up to seventh place overall in the end in the number 61 car. In fact, he's just about to come through your shot now. There he is, because he's just taken the checkered flag. Eighth place goes the way of Tim Sage, then Greg and Thurston, and then it should be Charlie Plain-Jones, I think, to win his. In fact, Charlie Plain-Jones has got ahead of Greg and Thurston on the last lap as well. They've had a nice little scrap, and Greg and Thurston is the next car you will see, acknowledging the checkered flag. There he is, and he takes the Class A victory. So, horrible conditions, but nevertheless a really entertaining race there, Johnny.
They all put a brave face on it, didn't they, and said, well, this is what we've got to race in,
yes,
so let's try and have a good time. And they really did, because John Village, you thought that it was his race to lose at certain points, and then they would creep into Brooklands, and all of a sudden that big gap of 2 or 3 seconds had completely been whittled away. Really good scrapping from Richard Pryor to gain those spots as well during the race with the fastest lap.
Yeah, confirmation of the result. John Village in the Village V2, winning the race, number 29, from number 7, Graham Wilson in second. That was the time 3B. Third place went to number 27, Richard Pryor in the DNC. Fourth, number 2, Nigel Howard, Centaur. In fifth place, number 18, the class winner, Tim Roebuck in his Austin 7 Special. And sixth was 72, Trevor Slatter. Seventh, number 61, Simon Gallen. Eighth was 42, Timothy Sage. Sneaking into ninth place and the class win for Class A at the end, number 22, Charlie Plain-Jones, and rounding out the top 10. That was number 1, Greg and Thurston. 11th, James Miles. 12th, Linton Thurston, losing out to his dad. Oh dear, oh dear. 13th to number 6, Richard Verheyden. 14th was Mike Pickup, 69. And then problems along the way for John Ingram and Ian Grant. But a good field of cars. Hopefully we'll see them all back out tomorrow for their second race of the weekend, which is going to happen at 10:45 in the morning. 2 more races left to come this afternoon here at Pembrey. Sports 1000 up next, the first of their triple header weekend, and then the K-Tech Racing Clio Sport Championship, I should say, to round out the not the weekend but the day with another 15 races to come for you tomorrow, and you'll see those all on Alpha Live from 9 o'clock in the morning. Don't forget, Johnny, bright and early. Right, let's head down to Josh Barrett once again in the pit lane.
So we're down here in, again, ever soggier Pembrey pit lane, but we've got another race winner, and that was John Village. So let's grab a word with John. Well done on your race victory there, John. I'll give you your winner's garland. Yeah, let you take your helmet off, and then we can grab a word. We've also got our class winners down here, Tim Roebuck and Charlie playing Jones, and we'll see how many we can grab a word with. But tricky conditions out there, John. And
dreadful.
And is this your first time you've raced here, perhaps?
It's the first time I've ever raced here. Yeah.
What do you think of the circuit?
Difficult when you don't know it.
But you managed to build a gap at the start and sort of maintain that.
Yeah, I was just focusing on maintaining a gap and not going OTT.
Did you used to run cars here, come testing here at all?
I did, yeah. We used to run Vauxhall Juniors and Vauxhall Lotus.
Yeah.
The last time I came here, I flew in with Surtees to test the A1 Grand Prix cars that we were running.
They're pretty quick round here, I should think.
They were indeed.
Hopefully drier tomorrow, and that'll be more enjoyable, I guess.
It will indeed.
I'll give you a winner's garland. Well done.
That's
Can
very good.
add that to your collection. The AS class went to Timothy Roebuck, who was well stuck in with the Class C card. Well done, Tim. We spoke yesterday, and you were right involved. They're right at the overall front order.
Yes, yeah. John managed to get the jump on me off the line. I got too much wheel spin off the line, and then Lyndon and I think Graham came piling through as well. By the time I could get the car stopped for the hairpin, and I tried to get back past. Well, I got back past Lyndon and was trying to get past Graham, but then my visor started to fog up, and I just gave it up in the end. It was.
Well, thanks, Tim. I think we're going to have to stop you there because the next car's already onto the grid. So on to the RLM Racing Sports 1000 Championship next here at Pembrey.